The human soldier shocked the alien queen. No one expected this HFY Stories, best HFY Stories. Captain Jace Ryland rode across the endless dunes of Krill, Nine on his hover cycle, the engine humming softly under him. The twin suns of the planet painted the sky in shades of orange and violet, and the wind carried fine sand in slow twisting spirals. Krill Nine was a remote world on the edge of the Andromeda sector, deserted, dusty, and lonely. But for Jace, it was just another place to prove that humans could adapt anywhere. Unlike the well-trained soldiers of the Interstellar Alliance, Jace had always relied on instincts and common sense. His methods were sometimes unorthodox, but they had saved him more times than he could count. He had a reputation as a man who could solve impossible problems with nothing but his mind, a bit of luck, and his trusty multi-tool. As he rode, he scanned the horizon through his visor, adjusting for the blinding light of the twin suns. Krill Nine was not dangerous in the usual sense. No predatory creatures roamed the sands, but there was always the unknown. Humans had explored planets before, but Krill Nine had secrets. Jace had felt it the moment he landed. Something beneath the sand was waiting. He slowed his hover cycle and squinted at a shimmer half buried in the dunes. At first it looked like a reflection of the sun, but as he approached he realized it was something different. A small, crystalline artifact pulsing with a gentle blue glow. Jace dismounted carefully and knelt beside it. The sand was warm beneath his fingers, and the artifact seemed almost alive. Not just a rock, he muttered. Someone, or something, left this here for a reason. He tapped it gently with his multi-tool. The artifact hummed in response, sending a ripple of light across the dunes. Jace felt a tingling sensation run through his hands, almost like static electricity, and he quickly pulled his gloves back. He stared at it in fascination. Suddenly, the artifact sent a small pulse into the sky, a beam of light stretching across space. Jace's heart skipped a beat. He didn't know it yet, but this tiny signal had reached the hive world, the crystalline spires of the alien civilization ruled by Queen Valera. Far away, in the heart of her shining palace, Queen Valera felt it. The signal was faint, almost playful, and unlike anything the hive had ever sent or received. She paused in her observation chamber, her translucent fingers hovering above a glowing control panel, her eyes, deep and multifaceted, narrowed in curiosity. An anomaly, she whispered, her voice a soft ripple across the chamber. A human? The Hive folk had always regarded humans as unpredictable but primitive. They were small, fragile, and emotional, a species more suited for survival by chance than by design. And yet, something about this signal told Valera that this human was different. Back on Krill. 9. Jace studied the artifact, unaware of the attention it had drawn. He ran a few scans with his portable analyzer, but the device couldn't identify the material. The artifact was unlike anything in the human database. It was elegant, simple, and yet impossibly complex at the same time. He chuckled. Well, you're a stubborn little thing, aren't you? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the dunes, Jace made a decision. He would take the artifact back to his ship for further study. But the moment he picked it up, the artifact emitted another pulse of light. This time the beam seemed to stretch farther than before, almost as if it were pointing somewhere. Jace frowned. Pointing somewhere? He murmured. Or at someone. And he had no idea just how right he was. High above Krill, 9 in orbit, a sleek, organic spacecraft detached from the Hive fleet and began its descent. It shimmered like liquid crystal, moving with a grace that human ships could never achieve. Inside, Queen Valera observed the planet through a panoramic viewport. Her gaze fell on a lone figure navigating the dunes, small, solitary, and utterly human. Bring him to me, she commanded softly, almost to herself. I wish to see if he is truly as interesting as his signal suggests. The ship glided down with silent precision, landing on the edge of the dunes near where Jace had stopped. The human did not notice it at first. He was busy examining the artifact, running his fingers along the smooth surface, tracing its intricate patterns. The ship's hull reflected the twin suns, making it nearly invisible in the glare. Jace finally looked up and froze. The ship was unlike anything he had ever seen, alive and metallic at the same time, with curves that seemed to breathe. It wasn't threatening, but it radiated intelligence, power, and curiosity. Hello? Jace called, his voice steady even though his heart raced. He had faced unknown worlds before, but this was different. A doorway opened in the side of the ship and Queen Valeria appeared. She was taller than any human, with a luminous crystalline form. Her armor glimmered, and her appendages moved with a fluid grace. Her eyes, multifaceted and deep, fixed on Jace with an intensity he had never experienced. "You are the human who sent the signal," she said. Her voice was melodic, echoing in his mind more than his ears. "Tell me, who are you?" Jace straightened his back, refusing to show fear. "Captain Jace Ryland, Interstellar Alliance. Just doing my job, ma'am." Valeria tilted her head, studying him. "Interesting," she said softly. "Your species is small, fragile. But this signal, it speaks of curiosity, courage, and something else. Something I did not expect from humans."
Jace frowned.
"I don't know what you mean." She moved closer, her presence overwhelming yet oddly comforting. "Humans are predictable. They act according to patterns. But you are different. Your choices, your creativity, they are unexpected." For the first time, Jace realized that he was not just being observed, he was being measured, judged, not by force, but by intellect and instinct. "Look," he said cautiously, holding up the artifact. "I don't know what this is or why it's here, but I found it, and I think it's important. That's all I know." Valeria extended a luminous hand toward the artifact. "May I?" she asked. Jace hesitated, then nodded. She reached out, and as her fingers brushed the surface, the artifact pulsed brighter than ever before. A soft hum filled the air, vibrating through the sand, the ship, and even Jace's body. The Queen's eyes widened slightly. "It responds to you," she murmured. "Not to me. You are extraordinary, human." Jace blinked. "I'm ordinary." "You are not," Valeria said firmly, "and that is what makes you fascinating. I've never met a human who could affect the artifact like this. You are unique." Jace felt a mixture of pride and confusion. He had faced many challenges in his life, hostile planets, collapsing structures, rogue AI, but never had he been told that his very presence mattered to an alien species, especially one as advanced as the Hive folk. The twin suns dipped below the horizon, and Krill Nine was bathed in soft violet light. The artifact hummed steadily in Jace's hands, and Queen Valira's form reflected in its surface. For a moment, time seemed to slow. Two very different species, separated by distance, evolution, and experience, were staring at each other in curiosity rather than fear. Finally, Valira stepped back. "I will observe you further," she said. "Prepare yourself, human. I wish to see what makes you exceptional. Soon, we will meet again, closely. Then, I will understand whether your kind is truly worth the Hive's attention." Jace swallowed hard, feeling a thrill unlike any other. "I'll be ready," he said. Even as he said it, a small part of him wondered what it truly meant to be ready for someone or something like Queen Valira. As the Queen's ship rose silently into the sky, the artifact in Jace's hands pulsed one last time. The message was clear. Krill Nine was no longer just a barren frontier. It was the beginning of something much larger, a test of curiosity, courage, and creativity that could reshape the galaxy. Jace mounted his hover cycle once more, the wind sweeping across his face. He didn't know what challenges awaited him or what the alien queen's intentions truly were. But he knew one thing. For the first time in his career, he felt that humans might be capable of astonishing more than they, or anyone else, ever imagined. And somewhere deep in the stars, Queen Valira watched and waited, intrigued by the human soldier who had, without knowing it, shocked an entire species with nothing more than curiosity, courage, and the simplest of choices, the night on Krill. Nine was quiet, except for the faint hum of Jace Ryland's hover cycle as he patrolled the desert dunes near the artifact. The twin suns had set, leaving a sky dotted with stars, bright and unfamiliar compared to Earth's constellations. Jace had spent the last few hours studying the artifact under the soft glow of his portable lights. Its blue pulse was steady now, almost as if it were alive, aware of his attention. Jace rubbed his forehead, tired but exhilarated. "I don't know what you are," he muttered, speaking to the artifact as if it could answer him. "But somehow, I feel like I just scratched the surface of something huge." He had barely finished speaking when a shadow crossed the dunes. It wasn't cast by the stars or the twin moons. It was large, moving, and precise.
Jace stiffened.
Exactly, but he knew instinctively that this presence was unlike any human visitor or natural threat. A soft glowing hum filled the air, growing louder as it approached. The artifact pulsed in response, brighter than before. Jace's eyes widened. "You came for me, didn't you?" he whispered. Above him, the sky split as a shimmering, organic spacecraft descended with grace. It didn't make a single sound except for the hum that seemed to echo in the sand beneath Jace's feet. The ship glowed softly in the violet night, reflecting the stars above. Its surface was smooth, flowing like liquid crystal, yet impossibly strong. As the craft settled on the dunes, a doorway slid open and a figure appeared. Queen Valera stepped out, her presence commanding but not threatening. She was taller than any human, her body crystalline, radiating soft light, and her many appendages moved in slow, deliberate gestures. Her eyes, deep and multifaceted, observed Jace with intensity. "You are the human who discovered the artifact," she said, her voice melodious, filling the air without a sound. "Your actions have drawn my attention. Step forward." Jace straightened. "Captain Jace Ryland, Interstellar Alliance," he replied, keeping his tone calm despite the awe he felt. "I didn't mean to call anyone's attention. I was just doing my job." Valera tilted her head as if curious about his answer. "Humans rarely act without intention, yet you seem guided by instinct."
That is unusual.
"Fascinating." Jace shrugged. "Instinct, maybe. Or maybe I just like solving problems." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Then, with a fluid motion, she extended a glowing appendage toward the artifact. "May I see it?" she asked. Jace nodded and carefully handed it over. The artifact pulsed violently the moment her hand touched it. Jace blinked, then stepped back in surprise. "Whoa, it doesn't usually react like that." Valera's eyes widened slightly. "It responds to you," she said softly, almost in awe. "Not to me. Your presence, your mind, it is unlike any human I have encountered." "I'm just me," Jace said with a small grin. "Nothing special." Valera tilted her head. "You are extraordinary. You see patterns others miss. You act in ways my species cannot predict. This is rare." Jace's grin faltered. "So you're saying I'm unusual?" "More than unusual," Valera replied. "You are remarkable, and that is why I am here. I want to understand you. I want to see how a human can influence things beyond your understanding." Jace's mind raced. He had dealt with strange worlds, alien technology, and unpredictable natural phenomena, but this was something new. He wasn't facing danger. He was facing curiosity, intelligence, and perhaps respect. And it was thrilling. "Okay," he said slowly. "I'm listening. What do you want me to do?" Valera stepped closer, and the artifact floated between them, suspended by its own mysterious energy. "I want to test your mind," she explained. "Not with weapons, not with traps, with challenges. I want to see how you think, how you adapt, and how you handle the unexpected." Jace raised an eyebrow. "A test? You mean like a puzzle?" "Exactly," Valera said, her eyes sparkling. "A puzzle that requires creativity, curiosity, and courage." "Not brute strength," Jace chuckled. "Well, I can do puzzles." "Not many humans can say they've been challenged by a queen in person, though." Valera's lips, or the crystalline equivalent, curved in what could almost be called a smile. "Perhaps that is why I chose you. I have observed your kind. You are small, fragile, limited in some ways, but you are unpredictable, clever, and resilient, qualities my species has never fully understood." Jace felt a thrill of pride, though he hid it behind a casual shrug. "Thanks, I think." The Queen motioned for him to follow her toward her ship. Hesitant but curious, Jace mounted his hover cycle and moved alongside her craft as it opened into a softly glowing interior. The inside was unlike any human vessel. The walls pulsed with light like living veins, shifting and changing color as they moved. Gravity felt slightly different, not enough to throw him off, but enough to make him aware that he was in a world not built for humans. "This is a different perspective for you," Valera said, her voice echoing gently. "Here, your senses must adapt. Here your mind will be tested. Are you ready?" Jace nodded, though he couldn't hide a flicker of nervousness. "I've been ready for things like this my whole life. Let's see what you've got." The Queen led him to a platform in the center of the ship. Floating in midair were several geometric shapes, glowing softly and rotating slowly. "Your challenge begins now," she said. "These shapes are more than they appear.
You must find a way to connect them."
Understand their pattern. Only then will the artifact respond fully." Jace frowned and studied the shapes. They were intricate, some transparent, some reflective, all moving independently. He reached out, touching one carefully. Instantly, it shifted, rotating in response to his touch. He smiled. "Okay, so I think this responds to touch, but in a pattern," he muttered aloud. He reached for another shape, noticing the way it moved in harmony with the first. Slowly, he began to map the connections between them, adjusting his approach based on feedback. Valera watched silently, her eyes following every movement. She didn't intervene. She wanted to see how he solved the puzzle. Minutes passed. The shapes glowed brighter as Jace's confidence grew. He started experimenting using combinations he hadn't tried before. Slowly, the shapes aligned in a sequence that resonated with the artifact. A hum filled the room as the artifact's blue light flared. The shapes rotated one final time, locking into a perfect configuration. The light expanded outward, filling the ship with a soft, soothing glow. Valera's eyes widened slightly. "You did it," she whispered. "You solved it in a way my species never could have imagined. Humans are not supposed to think like this. Yet you have done it." Jace smiled sheepishly. "Ooh. Well, I guess humans are full of surprises." "You are more than a human," Valera said, almost reverently. "You are exceptional. You see patterns, adapt to chaos, and act with courage and curiosity. These are qualities the Hive has never valued enough. But you have proven that your species is remarkable." Jace felt a warmth in his chest. He had always believed that humans were capable of great things, but hearing it from the Queen of the Hive Folk, it was different. Validation from a species that prided itself on intelligence and precision was humbling. Valera extended one appendage toward him. "I will observe you further. There are many challenges ahead, but know this. You have already changed my perception. Humans are not what I expected. Perhaps they are more." Jace nodded. "Then I guess the galaxy just got a little more interesting." The Queen's ship shifted slightly, her glowing form shimmering. "Indeed, and soon the rest of the Hive will learn that humans are unpredictable, brilliant, and capable of things we never imagined." Jace looked at the artifact in his hands. Its glow was steady now, almost like it was acknowledging his accomplishment. He realized that Krill Nine was no longer just a quiet, dusty frontier. It had become a stage for something larger, a test of intellect, courage, and creativity that might redefine the galaxy's understanding of humans. The twin moons rose above the dunes, casting soft silver light across the desert. Jace mounted his hover cycle again, feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. He didn't know what lay ahead or how the Queen would continue her tests. But for the first time in his life, he felt that humans weren't just surviving in the galaxy. They were capable of astonishing things. And far above him, Queen Valera watched silently, intrigued and thoughtful. She had come expecting a simple, predictable human. Instead, she had discovered something extraordinary, a mind that could surprise even the most advanced species in the galaxy. The night stretched on, quiet except for the soft hum of the artifact and the stars above. Krill Nine was no longer just a barren planet. It was a place where curiosity, courage, and intelligence would meet in ways neither human nor Hive had fully understood. And in that quiet, glowing desert, the stage was set for a journey that would shock the galaxy. The glow of Krill Nine's twin moons cast long shadows across the dunes, and Captain Jace Ryland's hover cycle kicked up streams of silver dust as he followed the faint pulse of the artifact. Since his first encounter with Queen Valera, everything felt different. The planet was no longer just a lonely frontier. It was a testing ground for ideas, creativity, and intelligence. And he had been chosen somehow to represent the human species in a way no one had imagined. He glanced at the artifact, floating just above his palm. Its soft blue light pulsed like a heartbeat, as if it were aware of his thoughts. Jace couldn't explain why, but it felt almost alive, responding not just to touch but to intent. He smiled to himself. Humans can do amazing things, he thought, and apparently, so can this thing. A shadow passed overhead. Jace looked up just in time to see Queen Valera's ship descend silently from the sky. Its surface shimmered under the moonlight, reflecting the desert like liquid crystal. The Queen had summoned him again, and Jace knew this next encounter would be even more challenging than the last. He guided his hover cycle to a smooth plateau where the ship landed. The air around the craft shimmered with soft light, and the entrance opened like a flower unfolding. Valera stepped out, radiant and imposing as ever. "You have done well so far," she said, her voice calm yet commanding. The artifact responds to your touch, your mind, your instincts. But now, it is time for a greater challenge. Jace took a deep breath. I'm ready. What do you have in mind this time? The queen extended her appendages toward the sky. With a gentle motion, the air around them began to change. Gravity shifted subtly. The dunes bent in strange angles as if the very laws of nature were being rewritten. Jace's hover cycle adjusted instinctively, but he realized that the test wasn't just for his mind. It was for his perception, his ability to adapt to the unexpected. Valira's eyes glimmered with curiosity. This is not just a puzzle of shapes and lights. This is a puzzle of space, patterns, and timing. You must navigate it using observation, intuition, and creativity. Only then will the artifact reveal its true nature. Jace's brow furrowed. He looked at the shifting dunes, the strange angles, and the glowing paths that seemed to appear and disappear at random. So, you want me to figure this out while the world itself is changing? He asked. Precisely, Valera replied. Predictability will fail. Only ingenuity will succeed. He dismounted his hover cycle and approached the nearest glowing path. The surface felt warm beneath his boots, almost soft, and as he stepped onto it, the path pulsed brighter. Each movement seemed to influence the environment. The shapes of dunes and rock formations shifted subtly with his decisions. This isn't just a puzzle, Jace muttered.
It's a conversation.
The world itself is responding to me. Valera's form shimmered in approval. Exactly. You are not here to conquer. You are here to understand, to adapt, to learn. And in doing so, to show that humans are capable of more than the hive has ever believed. Jace smiled, feeling the familiar thrill of a challenge. He began experimenting, moving along one glowing path and then another. Each choice caused subtle shifts in the environment. Rocks moved slightly. Gravity tilted and straightened in response. It was as if the planet itself was watching, learning, reacting to him. Hours seemed to pass in moments. Jace relied on instinct, observation, and trial and error. The artifact floated above him, pulsing brighter with each success, as though encouraging him. Every adjustment, every careful movement, seemed to bring the environment closer to harmony. Finally, he noticed a pattern in the shifting dunes. The glowing paths formed sequences like steps in a dance. If he followed them correctly, they would converge at a central point, the location of the artifact. Jace took a deep breath and moved deliberately, synchronizing his steps with the pulses of the artifact and the subtle shifts in the environment. When he reached the center, the artifact rose high into the air, spinning slowly and glowing with intense blue light. The ground beneath him solidified, forming a smooth platform, and the distorted dunes aligned into perfect symmetry. Jace stood in the center, panting lightly, exhilarated by what he had accomplished. Valera approached, her form glowing softly in the moonlight. You have succeeded, she said, her voice filled with a mixture of surprise and admiration. You see patterns where none exist, and you act with foresight and courage. My species has never encountered a human like you. Jace shook his head, smiling. I'm just thinking, I guess. You taught me that sometimes. The rules aren't what they seem. You just have to observe carefully and trust your instincts. Observation and instinct, Valera repeated, as if savoring the words. Yes, humans are capable of things my species has never valued. You are proof that unpredictability, creativity, and courage can be as powerful as logic or strength. Jace felt a rush of pride. For the first time in his career, he wasn't just a soldier exploring a frontier. He was a symbol of human potential. The queen of an advanced alien species had acknowledged his species' ingenuity, and he realized that this was more than a personal victory. Humans could truly impress the galaxy if given the chance. Valera extended one appendage toward him, and the artifact hovered between them, glowing brighter than ever. I will share this moment with the hive, she said. They will learn that humans are capable of brilliance. They will see that your species is unpredictable, resourceful, and remarkable. Jace nodded. I hope they're ready for that. The queen's eyes softened, reflecting a rare moment of curiosity and admiration. Humans have always been underestimated. That ends here. You have changed that, even if you do not fully realize it yet. Suddenly, the artifact emitted a pulse that enveloped both Jace and Valeriah in soft blue light. Images and symbols appeared, floating in the air, a record of knowledge, wisdom, and experiences from across the galaxy. Jace realized that the artifact wasn't just a test. It was a bridge, a way for humans in the hive to share understanding and ideas. It's Showing me things, Jace whispered. History, possibilities. Yes, Valera said. It responds to those who can perceive, adapt, and imagine. And you have proven yourself capable of all three. Your species has potential that even the Hive could never fully predict.
Jace studied the images.
They weren't just technical schematics or maps. They were lessons in creativity, collaboration, and resilience. It was as if the artifact were teaching him how humans and Hive folk could work together, exploring new frontiers, solving problems, and understanding the universe in ways neither could achieve alone. He felt a sense of purpose he had never known. This wasn't just about puzzles or challenges. It was about proving that humans could rise to unexpected heights, that they could inspire even the most advanced civilizations with curiosity, courage, and ingenuity. Valera observed him quietly. You have exceeded my expectations, she said. I came expecting a simple, predictable human. Instead, I have found one who can challenge, inspire, and illuminate.
Your species is more than I imagined.
Jace smiled. Well, I guess humans have always been full of surprises. Yes, Valera agreed. And now you have shown the Hive that these surprises are not to be ignored. You have opened a door that could change the galaxy forever. The twin moons rose higher, casting a serene glow across Krill. The artifact's light dimmed slightly, as if satisfied, and hovered steadily above Jace's hand. He looked at it, then at the Queen, and felt a sense of anticipation. What comes next? He asked. Valera's eyes glimmered. Next, you will continue to learn, explore, and demonstrate the strengths of your species. The Hive will watch. The galaxy will watch. And through your actions, humans will show what they are truly capable of. Jace felt a thrill of excitement. He had faced strange worlds, challenging missions, and impossible puzzles before, but this was different. He wasn't just surviving or exploring. He was proving the potential of humanity itself. And far above, the Queen's ship shimmered like liquid crystal, silent and watchful. She had expected a simple human, predictable and fragile. Instead, she had discovered brilliance, creativity, and courage, a combination that had the power to astonish even the most advanced species. The night on Krill, 9 stretched on, filled with soft light, pulsing energy, and unspoken possibility. Jace Ryland had completed another challenge, but the journey was far from over. The frontier had become a stage for ingenuity, courage, and discovery, and somewhere in the stars the Queen watched, intrigued, and inspired, knowing that humans could achieve far more than anyone, including herself, had ever imagined. At the first light of Krill, 9's twin suns stretched across the dunes, painting the desert in shades of gold and rose. Captain Jace Ryland stood at the edge of the plateau, the artifact hovering above his palm. Its glow was steady now, like a heartbeat in rhythm with his own. For days he had faced challenges, puzzles, and tests set by Queen Valera, each one designed to stretch his mind and spirit. But today felt different. Today he felt the weight of something larger than himself, something that could change the galaxy. A gentle hum announced the arrival of Queen Valera's ship. It descended silently, its crystalline surface reflecting the twin suns' light like liquid prisms. The door opened and Valera stepped onto the dunes, radiant in the soft morning glow. Her eyes, multifaceted and deep, focused on Jace with an intensity that made him feel both nervous and proud. "You have done well, human," she said. "Your adaptability, creativity, and courage have surpassed my expectations. You have proven that humans are not merely survivors, they are innovators, thinkers, and dreamers." Jace smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. "Thanks, ma'am. I just did what felt right. I didn't think I was proving anything." "You have done more than think," Valera replied. "You have demonstrated what your species can achieve when unbound by rules and convention." "You have inspired me," Jace blinked. "Inspired you?" The Queen's glowing form shimmered. "Yes. The Hive has always valued logic, precision, and predictability. But you have shown that creativity, courage, and intuition can achieve what logic alone cannot. You have changed the way I view humans." For a moment, Jace felt speechless. He had spent years thinking of humans as clever and adaptable, but to hear an advanced alien queen acknowledge their brilliance, it was unlike anything he had experienced. Valera extended an appendage toward the artifact. "The final part of your journey is not a puzzle. It is a choice. You must decide what comes next, for yourself and for your species." Jace frowned, studying the floating artifact. It pulsed in response to his gaze. Images shimmered inside it, Distant planets, star systems, humans and hive folk working together, exploring the galaxy, discovering new worlds, learning from one another. Choices, Jace murmured. What do you mean? Valira's voice was calm but firm. The hive has observed your successes. The galaxy watches. You now have the power to shape the future. You can choose to take the knowledge and opportunities you have gained for yourself, or you can offer it to humanity, showing the rest of your species what they are truly capable of. Jace's mind raced. He had faced tests, learned from the artifact, and impressed the Queen. But the real challenge now wasn't about skill. It was about vision, responsibility, and courage. He looked down at the artifact, then at the desert stretched beneath the twin suns. I want to share it, he said finally. Humans have always surprised themselves. If this knowledge, this potential, can help the rest of my species, I want them to see it. I want them to know they can do great things too. Valira's eyes gleamed with approval. Wise. That is the choice of a leader, a pioneer, and a human worthy of the hive's attention. By choosing to share, you are not only proving your own brilliance, you are elevating your entire species. The artifact pulsed brighter than ever, releasing a wave of energy that spread across the desert. Jace felt it fill him with understanding. Glimpses of distant civilizations, ideas for exploration, methods for cooperation, and visions of worlds humans had never imagined. The artifact was more than a puzzle. It was a bridge, a key to humanity's potential. Valira extended her hand, and the artifact floated gently between them. By accepting this responsibility, you have not only changed yourself, but you have changed the hive's perception of humans. Your species will no longer be underestimated. Jace nodded, feeling a surge of pride and purpose. I guess humans really can surprise the galaxy. Yes, Valira said softly. And now the hive will know that your species is not to be dismissed. You have shown that unpredictability, creativity, and courage can be as powerful as any weapon or technology. For the first time, Jace felt the full weight of the moment. He had started as a lone soldier on a dusty, forgotten planet. Now he was a symbol proof that humanity could inspire even the most advanced civilizations. The desert around him seemed to hum in approval, the dunes shifting gently as if acknowledging the significance of the day. Valira's ship began to glow, the crystalline surface reflecting the light of the twin suns in a dazzling display. Captain Ryland, she said, I offer you this, a partnership between humans and the hive. Knowledge, exploration, and cooperation. Together, our species can explore the universe, discover its secrets, and achieve what neither could alone. Jace's eyes widened. Partnership? Yes, Valira said, her voice calm but filled with resolve. You have proven that humans can rise to challenges in ways the hive never anticipated. I believe your species can do more than survive. It can thrive. Together we can accomplish extraordinary things. Jace felt a thrill unlike any he had known. The hive, long considered a distant and untouchable species, was offering trust and collaboration, and he, a single human soldier, had made it possible. He turned to the artifact, now hovering between him and the Queen. Its light bathed him in warmth and energy. Then let's do it, he said firmly. Let's show the galaxy what humans and the hive can do together. Valira's eyes sparkled. Then the future begins today. And the galaxy will watch, and remember that humanity is capable of brilliance beyond expectation. The twin suns rose higher, bathing Krill Nine in golden light. Jace felt the desert breeze on his face, smelled the warm sand, and realized that the frontier was no longer lonely. Humans had a place in the stars, a role to play that could inspire and unite civilizations. The Queen's ship began to rise, its soft hum echoing in the dunes. She turned to Jace once more. Captain Ryland, you've done more than I imagined. The hive will never forget this. Humans will never be underestimated again. Jace nodded, his heart swelling with pride. And I'll make sure they know it. As the ship disappeared into the sky, Jace looked out across Krill 9. The artifact hovered beside him, a symbol of potential, discovery, and connection. He mounted his hover cycle, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown challenges and opportunities. But humans had proven that they could rise to meet them. The first time, Jace didn't feel small, isolated, or ordinary. He felt part of something greater, a movement that could shape the stars, redefine expectations, and unite species in ways no one had thought possible. The twin suns shone brightly overhead, promising new beginnings. And Captain Jace Ryland, a single human soldier who had shocked an alien queen with his courage, creativity, and curiosity, rode forward into the future. The frontier was no longer a place of loneliness or danger. It was a stage for exploration, discovery, and unity, and humanity had claimed its place among the stars. Jace smiled. Somewhere deep in the galaxy, Queen Valeria was watching, thoughtful and inspired. She had expected a predictable human. Instead, she had discovered brilliance. And the galaxy, she knew, would never be the same.